Hello Floss Tube. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. I am back. Today is January 3rd, 2025. Yesterday I did a whip parade for 2024. Today I'm filming my plans for 2025. So I talked a little bit about it at the end of my video yesterday, but if you haven't seen that, no worries, I'll tell you them again. So I am doing WIPGO again. I had thought I might not do it this year, but instead of not doing it, I'm doing two boards. So I'm doing one board of full coverage and one board of Mirabilia. Mirabilia is one of my favorite designers, and I rarely touched any of them in 2024 at all. So I wanted to be sure I got some stitches in on all of them. So that's why I did a board of them, and then my full coverage, I want to make some progress on them. And then other than that, I have identified some whips that I think I can finish this year. And so those are on my focus on a finish list, if you want to call it that. And those I will work on outside of my WIPGO boards. The other thing that I am doing this year is the Heaven and Earth Sal Stitch Along, the Haid Sal. I picked the Drinks on the Beach, and so I started that Jan 1, and my goal is to at least get the 6 pages done so I can get all of the other stitch along projects for free. Okay, so we're gonna get started. We'll start with full coverage. I do have some notes over here, so if I'm looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I did try and calculate, or not calculate, but look on Pattern Keeper for my full coverage to see what percentage I am done. So I'll let you know those. So they're not in any order. So I'm just gonna pull them out and we'll just get started. So first is the Heaven and Earth Stitch Along. Like I said, I just started this Jan 1. Here's a little tiny picture of what it's going to look like. This is Lars Stewart is the artist. And I picked this one because it had so many different colors, and I wanted something bright and colorful like that. So I have put in on this part, so this is just part 1. So far I've put in 1,299 stitches, and that is at 5.25% for part 1. So I'm just up in the sky with some clouds. And I did purchase the needle minder that goes with it. So that one I'll be working on every day so I can try and keep up with it. Okay. And I don't need all that fabric. I just haven't cut any of it off yet. All right, I'm not sure where we're gonna put all these. We'll see what we can do. All right, let's see what's next. Next is Enchanted Christmas Reindeer. I do have a printout of it. Artwork Donna Gelsinger. This is one that I had started, let's see if I have when I started it. Yes, November of 2013. I've done 1,002 stitches and it's 0.4% done. I started this one before I had Pattern Keeper, before I knew about gridded fabric, and I have a few hanging threads. So this is where I am on it. Colors always get washed out. So it will be a challenge. I did get it, I had it digitally, I just had printed it out. So it will be a challenge to do it without gridded fabric, but I do have it in Pattern Keeper now, so that will make it much better. I am going to put these all back in the bag so I don't lose anything. All right, next one is, let's see if I don't think I have a picture of this one. No, this is Winter Montage. So I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. I started this on December of 2022. I've only done 227 stitches. And so that puts it at 0.15%. And I was doing Royal Rose, so it looks kind of messy. These are just waist threads that once I stitch over them, I can cut them off. And then I have some park threads. Now when I pick this up, I probably will not do Royal Rose again. I mean, it works fine, but it does leave kind of a mess. You have all of these threads that are parked to cut off. You have threads that are parked to stitch. So I'll probably go to my diagonal, which seems to be my favorite method of stitching right now. All right, I should be marking these off, but they should all be here. All right, this one is Butterflies and Clouds 2. I started this in May of 2022. So in May of 2022, my Stitch Mania was started new full coverage every Sunday in May. And so I've done 1,077 stitches on this for 0.4%. Now this one, all the rest of mine are 1/1 full cross. This one I decided to do 2/1 tint just to try it. So that's all I have done on it. Still just up in the sky part. So we'll see. I feel more comfortable doing full cross, so I don't know that I'll do any more as tint. All right, one more in this bin. I think I have a picture of it. This one, unfortunately, I cannot get digitally. I may have had it digitally at one point, but I can't find it anymore. So this is Venetian Sunrise by Tilton. Let me pull that out so you don't have the glare. So I'm afraid I'm going to have to stitch this one from paper, but I do still love it. It's so pretty. And I do not know when I started this, and because it is, I don't have it in Pattern Keeper, I can't tell you how much I've done or what percentage I'm at. So it's still on a Q-snap from the last time I worked on it. Oof. So here is where I am on it. So just starting in the upper left corner, that's usually where I start all of them. It's going to be very pretty someday, but it will definitely be slower going since I'm having to do it all from paper. All right, and then this bin, you're gonna have to kind of reach behind me a little bit. So that bin of full coverage are ones that I haven't touched for a long time. And then this bin are the ones I've been working on, so I pulled them all out this year and worked on them. And if you watched my WIP parade, you probably saw all of these yesterday. But in case you didn't, I will show them all to you today. And I forgot to mention WIPGO for this month was 2 new starts. So my Heaven and Earth Stitch Along is 1 new start. And then I haven't decided, since it's on my full coverage board, it probably means I should do another full coverage start, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or just do a non-full coverage. It's my board, so I can do whatever I want. So this is Beachcomber's Bounty. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. I have stitched 7,251 stitches, and it's 2.22%. And I love that you can see starfish already coming in here. So again, I'll say this time, and then I'll try not to say it anymore. A lot of these I started on the diagonal, then I went to Royal Rose, and now I'm converting them back to the diagonal. So that's why some of them will look kind of funky like that. It doesn't matter, they're getting stitches in, so it's all good. All right. Next, let's see, which one is this? This is the Grand Library. Oh, I forgot to tell you, Beachcomber's Bounty was by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth. This is the Grand Library, also by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth. And I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. I have stitched 7,098 stitches on this, and it is at 1.76%. So there's everything. You can start to see the girl coming in there. The dragon will be coming in here. And I love how the color has started to change over there. This is a good one for prompts in stitching groups because it has so many different things in it that you can usually find whatever you need in the prompt. Let's see, which one is this? I don't always have stitch cards for them all. This is Home for the Winter. This is, the artist is Lucy Pittaway, charted by Heaven and Earth, but it is retired. All of the Lucy Pittaway are retired from Heaven and Earth. I think you can get some kits from somewhere, but to me, they don't look like they have the same detail as the full coverage. So I will put a picture in of what it's going to look like. And this one I have stitched 4,286 stitches, and it's at 1.19%. And you won't be able to tell, but there is some Krynic in those clouds. You can never get shimmer to show up on the camera very well. Same thing when I'm doing my card making, you can't see the shimmer very well. Let's see. This is Hot Air Balloon Sunrise. And I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. This is by Laura Stewart. I've done 2,494 stitches, and it is at 0.89%. And this one I did get the max color. So far I'm still just in the sky. So I'll be glad when I start getting into some balloons on this one. And spend more time folding and unfolding the fabric. All right, just a few more full coverage. This is Riverwalk Charm. I think it is Ruanne Manning or something like that is the artist. It's also Heaven and Earth. And I have done 17,189 stitches on this one, and it is at 4.49%. So it's my farthest along one, except for the one that I'll show you in my Focus on a Finish. So here is, if I can get it all to pick up, the whole thing I've got done. There are a couple other people working on this, and they're both much farther than I am. But that's okay. It is not a race. All right, one more. This is Woman in a Field of Flowers. This is from Stitches So Beautiful. The artist is, I've forgotten. I don't have it on my sheet. I have done 3,007 stitches on this, and it is at 1.88%. So I've been up in the sky, but you can start to see some flowers or plants coming in there. So that's exciting. It'll be fun to see what I get on the next diagonal. All right, that is all my full coverage, except for the one that's in my focus on a finish. So again, those will be called every month. 2 of those will be called. My WIPGO boards are 5 hours or 500 stitches, and I can just choose which one I want to get to. The exception to that is the Heaven and Earth design. I'll be working on it the whole time just to try and keep up with it so I can at least get the 6 pages. If I start another full coverage for the second number of WIPGO for January, this is probably the one I'll start. I think it's called Butterfly Kisses by something Della. Sorry, I can't remember it well enough to say it, and I don't want to butcher it. So I may start that one, but I'll wait till later in the month to make that decision. So I'll work on my Heaven and Earth stitch along, and then the 2 Mirabilias that were called, which I'll show you next. I was thinking there was something else I was going to say about that. Oh, I went today to 123 Stitch. I think I said it's January 3rd. And none of the 28 Easy Count fabric is available. So I'll have to check with my LNS to see if there is any, or wait till it becomes available. All right, so the 2 numbers that were drawn in WIPGO for my Mirabilia, and these I don't have any stats on, they're paper patterns. I do make working copies of them, but I can't tell you how many stitches I have done or what percentage they are. I do have when I started them and the fabric for most of them. So the first one that was called for WIPGO is Christmas in London. That's this one. I started this one January of 2015. And it is on I think it's 32 count white opalescent. And this is where it is. So I don't have very much done on it. Just a stocking. Not even the whole stocking. Yeah, you can see it's opalescent. I thought for Christmas that would be really pretty. That's probably the first one I'll work on, just because we've just finished the Christmas season. And then the other one that was called for January is Maidens of the Seasons. And there are actually 2 of these. This is the first one, and that's the one I've started. And I don't even think I have, yeah, this one is so old that I don't even have when they were started. And this is the second one. So my plan is to do them frame them in 2 separate frames and then hang them together. And this one I haven't worked on in probably 30 years, I would guess. I don't know, maybe not, but probably. So this is where I am. I didn't even have the threads still pulled. I had to go find threads and I have to go purchase them. So hopefully they will match well enough. If not, I may be taking some out. We'll see. So those are the 2 that were called in WIPGO for January. All right. It's easier to pull them from the chair next to me than the table. Let me do a little bit of rearranging here. Okay. I had a bunch of them just hanging up, the ones that I'd started in the closet, so I just had to grab them and bring them down. All right. The next one. Oh, this is Wherefore Art Thou. I'll have to put a picture in of it. This was a mystery stitch along. I think it's the only one that Nora has done that I know of. And I started this. in February of 2016. And here is where I am. It's really beautiful. And I bought it when it was a mystery stitch along, so I got this special bead that goes on it too. Right. Next is Lady of the Flag. I know this is a highly sought after one. I bought it when it first came out, and I started it on September 11th, 2021, so on the 20th anniversary of the terrorist attack. And I'm doing it on the 30 count Constitution linen from Primitive Hair. And I did not get very much done. It has the preamble to the Constitution on it. And so I just started like on the flag because I kind of wanted to place it in a certain spot. So that's where I started. And I do have another piece of that fabric to do the Queen of Peace. I have her right here in the same, Queen of Freedom. She's not started, but I do have another piece of the fabric for her. All right, this one is over here somewhere. Here it is. Goodness. This is Siren's Song Mermaid. And I started this in January of 2015. And I think it goes this way. This is how much I have done here. All right. Which one did I pull it out of? Oh, this one. I have some big bags that have several ones in them. This is Siren and the Shipwreck. And I started this one in May of 2013. And this is where I am on this one. This is, I believe, oh, I haven't been telling you. This is on 32 count Sea Lily by Witchell. I think that's the called for. So it's one of those really stiff. That's a little bit better color of it. That's a really pretty one. All right. Next is Red Sugar. This is a Nora Corbett one, so it's a little bit smaller. And I started it in January of 2015, and it's on the 32 count, either chestnut or milk chocolate by Witchell. So again, a stiff. That's all I've got done on it. So not very much, not very far on that one. All right, and this is A Journey into the Deep. So this is a Passion Ricamo. It was a mystery stitch along. Let's see if I have when I started it in June of 2013. And let me just fold it over. It's going to be a big one. Do I have? It's 28 count Jobelin Shimmering Pool by Hand Dyed by Steph. It's really a rich blue and green. It's not showing up very well. This one has a lot of Kreinik. It has beads. It's going to be beautiful someday too. All right, I'm going to have to pause for just a minute and I will be back. Okay, I'm back. Next up is Portrait of Veronica. I started this one in February of 2017. It is on 32 count Winter Wishes, hand dyed by Steph. And, well, I can get it to unfold. This is where I am on this one. So it's kind of a grayish fabric. A lot of these I don't have a lot done on. That's why I kind of want to be sure I touch them and move them all forward some. Next is At the Met. I started this one in February of 2015. I think I started several. Looks like I started several. This is on 32 count Melody by Hand Dyed by Steph. And this one, I bet the fabric's not going to show up. Oh, it's not too bad. It's a beautiful fabric, and it complements this pattern, I think, perfectly. This is January's Garnet Fairy. I started this in January of 2015. I must have done like new Nora or Mirabilia starts January of 2015. And this is on a fabric flare Lagoon. I think it goes this way. So it's a pretty blue, soft blue. Is that right? Maybe it goes this way. I think it goes this way actually. The other way, I don't think it would be, the fabric wouldn't be big enough. All right, what is next? This is Red Lady Pirate. I started her in January of 2014, and she's on 32 count Fairies Storm by Sunny Dyes. I don't think they do fabric anymore, but it's looks like that, and there's where I am on her. I need to go back stitch her face so she doesn't look so strange. Trying to make sure I get them back in the right bag. This is, oh, it's about to fall. Sleeping Princess. I started this January 2015, and it is on 32 count Beach Walk. And I think this one I have to restart because I think, yeah, you can't really see the fabric color. I think I have it oriented the wrong way, but I didn't get very far, so that won't be hard to do. All this is Luna. It's a Nor Corbett, so it's a little bit smaller one. And I started this in January of 2015. And this is on a 32 count. It's something by hand-dyed by Stephanie, but I don't have written down which one it is. And none of these are ironed. That's where she is. Just a couple more. This is red. This is on 32 count Silver Mist, hand dyed by Stephanie, and I started it in January of 2015. And this is all I have done on it. All right, and then the last one, that's the second one, is Royal Games. So this is the first one. That's the one I've started on. I started this in February of 2018. It is on a 32 count white Jobelin. And that's where I am on that one. And then I do have the second one also, which is this. So I plan to do them both. And I may have them put where I can hang them either way. And so then if I want to switch them around and hang them the other way, I can. All right, that is all my memorabilia. I'm afraid I'm gonna have to stop here for now, and then I'll do another video of my focus on a finish. And then I'll hopefully put it all together and you'll see one video when I get that done. So I will be back later. Welcome back, FlossTube. You may have noticed I look a little different. I was not able to finish filming my plans video on Friday, so it is now Tuesday, January 7th. So I will finish up with it and then put it all together and hopefully get it out today. So what I had left, so the first part of this video, you just saw it, but it was a few days ago for me, were my plans for WIPGO, so it was full coverage and memorabilia. And now I've got a bin of things that I want to try and focus on finishing. I don't know that I'll get them all finished, but there's things that I think I could get finished, and so I just want to focus on those. So, oh, and I forgot to unzip, maybe just that one. I tried to unzip everything, but, oh, because that's not a focus on finish. That was one I had thought about starting. Oh, speaking of starts, I had said on my WIPGO board that the two numbers on the full coverage WIPGO board were new starts. And I couldn't decide if I wanted to do 2 full coverage starts or 1 full coverage, which was my Heaven and Earth Designs stitch along and something else. I have decided not to do 2 full coverage new starts, excuse me. So my second new start for January will be the new Autumn Lane Stitchery Stitch Along. I just got some fabric today, so we'll see when I start that. All right, back to my focus on a finish. I do not think, I should have printed out, but I did not. When I started all of these, I could pull it up on Excel. Let me see, this may take too long. This is Plum Pudding, Glendon Place. And, and I started it in April of 2013. And I would have just shown you this in my WIP parade if you saw that, but I will show you again in case you didn't see that. And this is where I am. Sorry, the day is kind of cloudy today, so I don't know. And all the stitching is done. I just need to go put beads in. So you can see over here, I've started to put beads in the middles of all these. So I need to do that on the other 3 areas. So this one has been a WIP for over 10 years, so it would be nice to get this finished. And maybe, I don't know, I could take it if I go to the Shepherd's Bush retreat next year. I want to take at least one thing to Rensselaer Studios for framing. Sorry, I'm going to put them all back in their bags, otherwise it will be a complete disaster when I get done. So that's a possibility. All right. Next is, all right, we're going to see if this is too bad. Acorns. This is by the Blue Flower, and I started this August of 2023. And I was working on it this fall, so you would have seen it in my WIP parade also. And this is on, the plum pudding was on whatever was called for. It's a Picture This Plus. Sorry, I forgot to look. It'll be easier to pull this back out. It's on the called for, so Sprite. And it's 28 count, I believe. And this is on a 32 count Bramble by Picture This Plus. And this is where I am. So I only have that bottom corner left to do. So I have put all of these on a wheel to spin every month, but I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I am definitely a seasonal stitcher. And so that one I'll want to stitch in the fall. I have a Valentine one. Oops, I better put the pattern back in there. So I may not spin the wheel. I may just work on, I spun it for January and it was plum pudding, that first one I showed you. But I may not do that. I may just work on what I want to in that season. All right, the next one is Betsy's Halloween basket, and I started this one in October of 2023. And it calls for murky, but I got something else. I got 18th Century Blackboard. I'm not sure who that's by, but this one is very wrinkly. I didn't iron anything. And that's where we are. So a lot of the top is done, but I have that whole basket. So this would be a stretch probably to get it finished, because I won't work on it until October, probably, possibly September. So that might be a stretch to get finished, but it's a smaller one, so there's a possibility. And I'm trying to remember if there's another one in here. I think there might be another one in this bag. Yes. So this is, I think I have this on my list to finish. Yes. Checkered Halloween by M Designs. I've had this one for a long, long time. I may not even have, oh, I guess I started it in September 2023, but I had the pattern for years. And it's, again, not a very big pattern. And it's on this fun, my floss ring is attached to my needle minder. There we go. This fun gingham. Oh, it's very wrinkly too. I think I had several projects in here and they must have all gotten kind of. So it's on that fun gingham fabric. So a decent start, still a decent amount to go, but it's not a big one, so potentially. All right. I think that's all in that bag. Oh, I'll try not to zip them up either. Oh, yes. I can never remember if this is under home or block party. It's under home. So this you would have also just seen in my WIP parade if you watched that. And I started this so long ago, I don't know when I started it. But this is Block Party Home by Hands On Design. And I have the bottom, or whatever you want to call it, the side going all the way around. That is done. And I have, whoops, I have all of these. So the only part I need to do now is this top part that just has the tops of the trees, and then try and put it together. And I do have, I think it's on my Mirabilia whipboard, I do have a few spaces that say fully finished something. So, all right, what's in here? Oh yeah, this is my Christmas, I call it Christmas Robin. I think it's called Patchwork Robin or Patchwork Christmas Robin. It's by Historical Sampler Company. And it was their stitch along for just this past Christmas season. And I started it in November of 2024. And I got it as a kit. I got their Advent box and this. So it's on their kit fabric, which I think they called Sage. Again, that one may be a stretch, but I have this one that I started from them and the Halloween one, and I didn't finish either one of them. The Halloween one's a little closer. I'm trying to make sure I get them back in here in the right spot so I don't skip any. All right, this one is definitely a stretch. And this one is the one I would really like to have done before I go to Shepherd's Bush and go try and take something to Rensselaer. This is Dressmaker's Daughter by Mirabilia. And again, it was started so long ago, I don't have a date. And it is on the called for milk chocolate linen. And I do all my beading at the end, but I have been doing the Krynic as I go. So I have summer finished. So there's summer. And then I've been working on autumn. So this is one I could definitely, well, I can't get over to winter. I'd have to stitch enough to get over to winter, but I could work on it in the seasons. So I could, when spring comes, you know, kind of switch over and start on the spring one. That might be what I do. And I have been doing, there's some Krynic here at the bottom, and I have been doing that as I go, because the beads will be a lot to do at the end anyway. But I work in Q-snaps, so I can't do beading until I take them out of the Q-snaps. Okay. This one is another Mirabilia. It's actually Nora Corbett. And I started this one in August of 2021. This is Fairy Autumn Glow. So if you've been watching my channel, I did finish Fairy Spring Fling and got it framed. So this, at the time I was going to the next one, this was the next season, because I was in fall. And like I said, that was in 2021. Nope, sorry, there's a hanging thread on this one. And this is on 32 count beach walk, which I believe is the called for. Yeah. And this is where I am. Beautiful, vibrant colors. So a lot of the dress is done, but then I still have her wings and beads. And I don't remember if this one has Krynic. No, just lots of beads. All right. Next. Oh yeah, this one is Festive Forest. I started this one December 1st of last year. This was part of Jingle Ball. It may take me a little bit to get back to this one. This is what it will look like when it's finished. If you did not watch my WIP parade, I was working on this when I was sitting with my mom. She passed away from cancer towards the beginning of December. And so this one kind of brings back memories of sitting with her in care facility. So we'll see. And it's really not that modeled. This is 32 count Valor by Picture This Plus. I love this piece, and I will finish it someday. I don't know. Probably won't get to it for till later. And it, you know, it's a Christmas one anyway, so. Okay. Yeah, I think I may have pulled too many Halloween ones. I do love Halloween stitching. I may have pulled too many Halloween ones to try and get done this year. This is the other stitch along from Historical Sampler, and I started this July of this year. And I think this is lilac. I got a fat quarter and cut it into several pieces for several different projects, so the label isn't on this one. But I think it's lilac by hand dyed by Stephanie. So this one has a better chance than the Christmas one probably of getting done. It's really fun. Really fun. Very cute. I love the way it looks. All right. This one could definitely be done. This next one, if I just spend a day, not even a day. This is Hip Hop by Lizzie Kate. And I started it in March of 2022. I think that year I was doing the March Madness, so I was pulling out a bunch of stuff. And that's where it is. It was a kit, so it came with the kit fabric. I can't remember if it came with floss. I don't think so, no. Just fabric and then some finishing stuff. So I can make it into a pillow like that. So, like I said, that one, I really just have the basket and hippity, or hippet. I have the basket and the words right above it, and some flowers. That's it. And then there's some buttons. So that one easily, if I don't finish that one this spring, then that would be embarrassing. Okay. This is my one full coverage I would like to finish. Let's see if I have when I started it. I started it January 1st, 2013. It was before I knew about Pattern Keeper, before I knew about gridded pattern. Well, I don't even know if Pattern Keeper was available then, or gridded fabric, but it's Quick Stitch Psyche's Butterflies, artwork Josephine Wall, charted by Heaven and Earth. And it is at like 82, I have it on my other sheet. Yeah, it's 82.24% done. And this one I was doing Royal Rose last time I worked on it, so there's lots of hanging threads on it. It's beautiful, and the colors in it are just gorgeous. So there's another partial page under here, but that's the edge of it, and this is the edge of it. So it's getting there. Definitely the closest of any of my full coverage, since my other full coverage are all huge. All right. Next, this is Santa's House. You've probably seen lots of people working on this. This was Cottage Garden Samplings series for 2024. And I started this December 23rd of 2023. So like right after it came out, I just loved it. I love this whole series. And it is on 32 count Vintage Stormy Night Lugana. And I am using all the called for flosses. So that's where that one is. Again, maybe a stretch goal, but I do really love it. would love to get it done. All right. The nice thing is I can just have this one basket sitting by me that will have my Focus on a Finish and my full coverage and memorabilia for the month. And I won't have to have 3 baskets like I had been. This is Seasons of the Heart Spring. I started this January 16th of 2024. So I'm going to do them all someday, but this is the one I started on. This is by Brenda Gervais. And this is where I am on it. So I got the house done. This is on, I think, Vintage Country Mocha. 32 count. Most of my stuff is on 32 count. Yeah, it really washes out when you put it up close, but you can kind of see. So the house is done. That's probably the most intense part of that one. So that one I could easily get done if I focus on it. All right. This one I started in September of 2020, and it is a Mill Hill kit, Silent Night. But I'm doing it on fabric instead of, instead of the perforated paper. Oh, I keep pulling out floss. I don't want to lose that. So I think all I have left is some back stitching. Sorry, there's a hanging thread there. Do I have the fabric? Oh, because I'm holding it upside down. It is 28 count pickled by Picture This Plus. Whoa, come back. Which is a really fun green. So I think I just have to back stitch around the letters and then add all the beads. So definitely one that could be finished this season. I think, yeah, there might be some back stitching around all of this, maybe back stitching. And then there's, of course, all the beads. And I do have, I haven't started this one, but I have Holy Night, which is another Mill Hill kit, but I bought some red fabric for it. So eventually I want to do that one too, and then they're kind of a set. Yep, I need to just, maybe I'll do like that one in Christmas in July. That would be kind of fun. Okay. Just a couple more, I think. This is from Carolyn Manning. It's called Star Touched Meadow. And I'll have, well, I don't know that I'll put a picture in. I'll put a picture in of what it's going to look like. This is part of a mystery stitch along she had. Gosh, it probably started over a year ago because this is November. So each month she came out with a new chart and they represented different flowers. So this is the November one and it represents chrysanthemum and it is on 32 count Water Lily by Witchelt. And that's where I am on it. This, I think if you saw my whip parade, I mentioned this is a great one for traveling because everything touches and you don't have to try and count across squares while your needle is bouncing. But this is the edge of it here. So I just have to fill in this and then do this green border all the way around. So maybe the next time I travel up to Kansas to see my dad, I'll take it in the car. Because if my husband goes with me, he drives and then I can stitch. All right, last one. Oh yeah. This is the one I'll probably work on next month. This is, or maybe even later this month. Maybe I'll do it this month instead. I don't know. Valentine's Day Quaker by Primrose Cottage. I started this February 11th of last year, 2024. And I think I'm using all of the called for. I don't remember if if I could find the called for, fabric. Let's see. Yep, it is 32 count blush, and I'm using the Ripe Melon floss by Classic Colorworks. Yeah, this one's not going to show up very well. It's really fun, and being just one color, it's an easy one to work on. All right, that's it. That's everything I had pulled to try and focus on a finish this year. Now, I'm not saying that that's all I'll work on. It may be that something calls to me and I'll just pull it out and work on it. But those are the ones that I think are close enough. I might be able to get close to a finish on them or get them finished. And I do want to try and get some of these that have been lingering for a long time that aren't huge finished. So I'm really excited about my plans this year. I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I'm really excited to get to touch all of my Mirabilias. I don't think I worked on maybe one last year. And I still love those. They're paper. They're kind of a pain. I just make copies. I just make working copies and just highlight it as I go. But they're just so beautiful. So I think that's it. I should be back, barring anything else strange that happens in my life, the first part of February to give you a January recap, and we'll see how I did on all of these. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.